And we are live here in Wantagh, New York, as we get set for a Section 8 Nassau County showdown between the Plainedge Red Devils and the Wantagh Warriors here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And it is senior day, as the 8 seniors on the Wantagh Warriors being honored before we tip things off here on Long Island. Lance Meadow with you. So glad you could spend part of your Monday evening with us, as this is a rematch from a month ago when Wantagh was victorious at Plainedge 52-27. Wantagh coming in with a 7-10 overall record, 6-4 in league play. Plainedge at 1-16 overall and 0-10 in league play. So let's take you through the impact players for both teams, and we're going to start with the visitors, the Red Devils, as they're going to be leaning on their point guard, Jack Youngins. He is one of 2 freshmen on the team that was called up to varsity, averaging 5 points and 3 assists per contest, and he helps jumpstart their offense. Then there is Jackson Bianchi, the 6-foot junior guard, who leads the team in scoring with 9 points and has hit a team best 36 triples. He's their sharpshooter, and he had 22 points earlier this season against the best team in the county, Floral Park. Let's shift gears to the Wantagh Warriors, and it's 2 familiar faces that did a lot of heavy lifting on the gridiron to help the football team win the Nassau County title. Joe Nicholson, their senior guard, coming in averaging 11 points and 3 assists. He also is second on the team with 8 rebounds. And then Devin Passione, a shifty guard, also a senior, who has a balanced attack with 7 points and 8 assists per contest. This is a dynamic backcourt that Wantagh will showcase. Those 2 love to get out and run and jumpstart the fast break. I had an opportunity to speak with both coaches earlier in the week, and they provided their keys to the game, so let's walk you through that. Jared Bursky for Plainedge, focusing on keeping Wantagh off the offensive glass, being patient and working for really good shots on offense, especially after they only scored 27 points in game number 1 between both of these teams, and then matching up and communicating on defense, not having breakdowns, especially when it comes to slowing down Wantagh's fast break. Matt Simeon getting off to a good start defensively is one of the points that he was emphasizing to his squad. Controlling the boards and then leaning on their transition offense to get easy shots, which clearly is the bread and butter of their offense. They like to get out and run. They like to light up their scoreboard early on, because that is a key element for them to put pressure on the opposing defense and forcing the opposition to have to play from behind when all of a sudden you don't have the luxury to keep the pace of this game upwards. So we are approaching the singing of the national anthem here in Wantagh, New York. We're going to step aside momentarily, and then we'll come back. We'll run you through the starting lineups, and we'll have the opening tip here on Long Island in the second go-around between Plainedge and Wantagh, as Wantagh looking to make it 3 wins in their last 4, and Plainedge still looking for its first victory in league play. We'll step aside here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Back here in Wantagh, New York. So glad you could join us. Lance Meadow with you on the Varsity Media Sports Network as we take you through the starting lineups for today's contest. And first for the visiting Plainedge Red Devils, who are going to stick with their usual 5. It is a backcourt-dominated lineup. We highlighted Youngins and Bianchi off the top. And then there is Danny Derulis, senior guard, who is second on the team in scoring with 8 points and 29 made threes. Mateo Pallone sets the tone in their front court. Big physical player that is going to be matching up with Connor Loffman today. And then rounding out the group is Dominic Galino, the second freshman here on this varsity squad, who shoots 50% from the field and 42% from beyond the arc. And he is a smooth lefty who brings a lot of athleticism to the table, as he started the last game against Mineola, and Jared Bursky sticking with that rotation. Let's go over to Wantagh's side. We talked about Devin Passion and Joe Nicholson right out of the gates in terms of the 2 impact players. So rounding out the group is Luke Gensowski, another senior guard who averages 5 points and 4.5 rebounds. Then there's Nicholas Hodney. Since it's senior day, he is inserted into the lineup. Normally he comes off the bench, a real skilled shooter that normally gives Loffman a breather, but they're going to go a little bit bigger in their lineup today. And then, of course, Connor Loffman, who is the starting quarterback on the football team, and he averages a double-double on the season, 11 points and 11 rebounds. He's 3rd in scoring. He's 1st on the glass, and he knows how to capitalize around the rim. That is going to be the task at hand here for Plainedge. Can they slow down Loffman, really on both sides? His ability to protect the paint, but also get easy looks right around the rim. That is why he averages a double-double on the season. So we'll step aside once again when we come back. The opening tip-off between Plainedge and Wantagh on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
Merrill, oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
And we are back here in Wantagh, New York. Wantagh High School as the second matchup between Plainedge and Wantagh getting ready to tip off. 52-27 was the final score in the first one. Here's a look at the up-to-date standings entering this contest. Floral Park and Valley Stream North have separated themselves from the rest of the pack. And then you see Plainedge still seeking its first victory, with Wantagh right in the thick of things in that middle spot. And they did it with defense in the first matchup. They held Plainedge to just 2 points in that first quarter. So it is going to be Pallone and Loffman at center court for the opening tip. And it is won by Wantagh's Nicholson. Can't capitalize underneath. The officials, John Grice, Steve McDade, and Kenny Apple. As both of these teams are averaging about 40 points per game. The difference is the defense. Plainedge gives up 61, whereas Wantagh gives up 49. And good hands here by Passion. Just has one player to beat, and he scoops it in as Wantagh gets the first bucket of this one. So Passion, who is known for his athleticism, averages a team-high 4 steals coming in, already getting 1, and opening the transition game for the Warriors. Is Plainedge working it around the perimeter here, looking for good opportunities and high percentage looks. Here's Galino inside to Pallone, and he can't finish on the bunny. So Wantagh will slow things down here, and Loffman shaken up a little bit as you're going to see him enter the screen and gingerly walk off under his own power. And that is their top big man, who is averaging a double-double on the season. So we'll keep close tabs on that, as he is a huge tone setter on both ends of the court. So coming in is PJ Falco to replace Loffman. Falco, the 5'8" senior guard. So now they go with a bit of a smaller lineup. They had 2 forwards to start with Hodney and Loffman, as Nicholson tries to give it up to Gonsowski, and it was last touched here by Plainedge, so no backcourt violation. 15 on the shot clock for the Warriors. Passion, the lone player to score in this game, trying to create his own shot. He'll put up the contested 3. And a one-handed rebound by Falco is put in, plus the foul, as he'll have an opportunity to complete the 3-point play. The contested 3. So we take a one-handed rebound by Falco, the offensive glass, and putting it up strongly over Narulis, who picks up his first personal. So Passion and Falco each have a pair, and now Falco knocks down the free throw to make it a 5-0 lead in the early goings of this one. This is a Plainedge team that has gone through growing pains, but Jared Barsky, the head coach, mentioned that they've shown some flashes on offense the last few games. Can they build off that early in this one, as Pallone draws the double? Youngins looking to create with 8 on the shot clock. As they go a little inside-outside action, here's Bianchi. They're going to have to put up a shot here with 1 left, and that is not going to count, as Bianchi put it up after the shot clock expired, and that speaks volumes of the perimeter feisty defense for Wantagh. So off the turnover, Warriors have a chance now to capitalize, with a lot of movement without the basketball, as they dump it inside to Hodney, and he accelerates over Pallone for his first basket of the day. So it has been a spread of the wealth mentality. 3 players each have scored for Wantagh. Plainedge has yet to get on the board. Pallone from the baseline, and he overshoots the rim, so Passion is going to take charge and look to push. The quick release is up and in for Gonsowski, and how about Wantagh opening this game on a 10-0 run with their first triple, just like they did in the first matchup between both of these teams. If we take another look, Passion setting up Gonsowski, great spacing in the half court, and that leads to a 10-point advantage in the early stages of quarter number 1, as we'll step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Nothing Wantagh leading Plainedge out of the timeout here with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Red Devils still trying to get on the board, and they cough it up with Falco in perfect position. So that swarming defense causing issues for Plainedge, as Nicholson is going to dump it off to Falco, and quick spontaneous passes leads to a wide open look for Hodney. And an offensive rebound will give them yet another chance. Nicholson with a defender at his face, and Pallone is there to clear it out. So Plainedge prevents Wantagh from padding its lead, but right now they need to figure things out on offense. And Passion nearly came up with yet another steal in this game as Gonsowski will get a breather. And in for him is Frankie Falco, as he's the twin brother of PJ. So we've seen the Falco family being showcased on full display as Pallone will take a seat. And Nick Komarnicki, the junior forward, coming in for Plainedge, as is Aaron Pazos, who has the ball on the baseline, gives it up to Youngins, and Nicholson gets a hand in the passing lane, but can't hold on to it. So we'll stay on this side of the court. Nearly halfway in to quarter number one, and the Red Devils still trying to get on the board here. Youngins bounces it to Pazos, and they'll look to reset here with 30 to work with. That shot partially deflected off the hands of Galino, but there was a foul as well. So Galino's going to head to the line. And they're going to say Nicholson got a piece of his arm. So that is number one on him. Galino, the 5'8" freshman. He's known for his defense as we look at Jared Bursky in his first season. He actually previously was an assistant here at Wantagh. Prior to that at Port Washington, as well as Plainview. A lot of experience under his belt, guiding programs. But it's a new system for everyone. And when it comes to a feel-it-out process, it sometimes takes a year or two for everybody to gel. As Galino hits all three. And Plainedge now trying to make this a game in need of a defensive stop, as they go cross court to PJ. Passion tried to feed it inside to Frankie Falco. And the Red Devils get that stop, and now it's a matter of whether or not they can turn defense into offense. The backdoor cut. And we're going to have more contact underneath as Komarnicki took the brunt of that. That was on the floor, so will not have free throws. And instead, it'll be Youngins inbounding again. Nicholson's going to take a seat, and good news for Wantagh, Loftman's back in after being shaken up right out of the gates of this one. Bianchi leaving it for Pazos, who drains it straight away, and you can ring that up from downtown. So 3 free throws and a trifecta, and just like that, it's a new ball game here. Stacklick puts up the tray, and underneath is Falco, who gives it up to Loftman, and they are able to take advantage of yet another second chance opportunity as Loftman gets on the board for the first time. Galino sealed off and will wisely give it up to Pazos as they play catch here in the corner with over 3 minutes to go in quarter number one. Pull-up jumper by Youngins off the mark, and Passion right in the thick of things again to grab another rebound. A wide open look for Frankie Falco, and he is able to drain it. And just like that, it's a 9-point lead for Wantagh after Plainedge was able to pull within 4. So everybody shipping in this contest for the Warriors. Youngins from way downtown, in and out, and Passion off the rebound, looking to set up the break here. Loftman's going to dump it off to Frankie Falco, and did not put enough legs into that one. And fortunately, Komarnicki prevents it from going out of play, so Plainedge can pick up the pace here. Youngins, a lot of upside for him. They feel great about him running the offense moving forward as Pazos misfires. Passion dumping it off to Frankie Falco. And tries to feed it back to him. And it's deflected out of play. Good hands there by Plainedge to prevent what would have been an easy lay-in opportunity. Passion is going to take a seat. Nicholson replaces him. So one football player takes out another. And Stacklick will get it in play. Nicholson milking some clock here with under a minute and a half to go. Frankie Falco's been the spark plug off the bench, but here cannot feed it cleanly into the corner to his brother PJ. Komarnicki will leave it to Youngins. The starting point guard for the Red Devils has yet to score in this game. As he comes in averaging 5 points per contest. Komarnicki with 10 on the shot clock. Gets it back to his point guard. 5 to toy with here. Can Galino create something? No, he can't, as he loses it. And back the other way, Wantagh will slow things down. About a 6-second differential between shot clock and game clock. With Loffman taking over. Nicholson straight away. And the rebound goes right into the hands of Komarnicki. So the shot clock is off and Plainedge can hold for last licks here in quarter number 1. Youngins has had to deal with the relentless backcourt for Wantagh. How about this maneuver off the run and in for Youngins, and then he blocks the prayer released by Stacklick. So a nice end to quarter number 1 for the backcourt for Plainedge as Youngins makes his presence felt, and it's a 7-point affair in favor of Wantagh on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your
Start of the second quarter here in Wantagh, the Varsity Media Sports Network, with the Warriors up by 7. The good news for Plainedge, they only scored 7 points in the first matchup between these teams in the first half, 8 alone in quarter number 1. As Galino sealed off, he gets it to the cutting Pazos, who gets the friendly bounce. And they are in double figures with 10, and this Plainedge team, little by little, chipping away at the deficit. Jared Bursky, the head coach of Plainedge, said when Pazos is making plays, it gives the team an added dimension. Loffman gets tied up by Galino, who's much smaller in stature. It's going to be a jump ball, but the possession arrow will stay in favor of the Warriors. Nice hustle there out of the backcourt for the Red Devils as they lob it inside to Loffman, trying to muscle his way inside, and he floats it in with the left for his second bucket. Youngins will leave it to Galino. Quick, spontaneous passes here for Plainedge, and it was last touched by Passione. As he's joined by Gonsowski. Vinny Napolitano is in for the first time, who normally starts, but the sophomore coming off the bench on senior day. Nicholson and Lothman rounding out the five. As Komar Nicky gets a breather for Plainedge. Pallone, Youngins, Galino, Pazos. And rounding out the group is Narulis. As they go inside to Pallone, and he is denied by Lothman, but keeps it, and they'll get a second chance. The quick release by Youngins, and he doesn't mess around as the starting point guard is starting to heat up for Plainedge, and they are back within 4. So it is a freshman right now stealing the show on senior day as Nicholson can't get it to roll his way. And Youngins will look to push. Narulis gets tied up underneath. It'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay on this side of the court. So Youngins, he was already matched his season average, will look to create for his teammates. Pallone off the dribble, sealed off by Lothman. And got 17 on the shot clock as Youngins leaves it for Narulis, well off the mark. And Passione, who has been so busy on the glass, is looking to feed it inside, but great hands here by Youngins. And it was deflected out of play by Gonsowski. But they're going to say that there was also some contact and last touched by Youngins. So Wantagh dodges a bullet there, as it looked like Plainedge may have had the numbers in transition off that deflection. As you see a 2-3 zone in play here for the Red Devils. They're just trying to slow down the passing around the perimeter. Gonsowski puts up the 3, in and out. Nicholson nearly grabs the rebound. And there to clean it up is Pazos. Under 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Bianchi, the leading scorer on the season. Can't find the bottom of the net. And it was deflected out of play by Plainedge as Gonsowski will take a seat. In for him is Hodney. As we want to remind you that you can check out the Nassau County playoffs on the Varsity Media Network. Your home for the 2026 Section 8 Championship. You go to varsitymediapass.com to order. Lothman feeds it inside to Hodney, trying to spin off of traffic, and good defense there by Pallone as Bianchi comes up with a takeaway. A dangerous cross-court pass, and Lothman returns the favor. So Wantagh nursing a 4-point lead, looking to pad it, and we're going to have a foul here on the perimeter as Pazos got the better of Napolitano, who was putting up the trifecta. That is the second team foul here against Plainedge. And Napolitano to the line, the sophomore guard, who is one of their best athletes and has probably most of the basketball experience when you look up the DNA of this team, considering he also plays AAU ball. And he'll have a third opportunity coming here to try to add to the advantage for Wantagh as he makes 2 of 3. And with that, we'll step aside. A 6-point lead for Wantagh in their own backyard on senior day on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
That's
Back here at Wantagh High School with the Warriors leading Plainedge 19-13 in the second quarter, as Matt Simeon's crew jumped out to a 10-0 lead before Plainedge all of a sudden started to come to life, and it really was a product of Galino getting fouled from beyond the arc. It slowed down the tempo of the game. He knocked down all three free throws, I should say, and then from there on, they were able to build off of it. As we take a look at the upcoming SPORTSCAST here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, tomorrow, the game was now moved up to 4 p.m. instead of 6. Cardinal Hayes hosting Earl Monroe Academy. As we go from Long Island to New York City, full court press being shown by Wantagh, as Youngins sets up Bianchi, and a deflection out of play by Wantagh. Nicholson was able to get a hand to the passing lane as he's in with Passione, Politano, Hotney, and Lothman, who applies pressure off the inbounds and gets the clean takeaway. So a 3-on-2 break here. Lothman already has a pair of buckets, and he's going to get a third with an awkward release. But all that matters is he finds the bottom of the net, and Lothman is leading the way with 6 of his team's 21. So just as he does on the football field, orchestrating traffic, duplicating that here on the hardwood, as they try to feed it inside to the cutting Garulas. Passione surveying the court. Napolitano off the pump. He's going to float it up. Difficult angle, and it was last touch by Wantagh. So the Red Devils will take over, trailing by 8 here. Right now, they're trying to break down this full court press, working it left to right. Here's Pazos, who's been very active in this game. The mid-range jumper, and he banks it in as Pazos is up to 4. And it's a 6-point game with Plainedge building off of one of its most recent best halves of the season. That came 2 games ago against Valley Stream North. And apparently, they're picking up where they left off, as is Napolitano in terms of what he's done all season. You can ring that up from beyond the arc, as he went to the line for 3 free throws, and now the conventional way, adding to his tally. So Passione off the rebound, the jump stop. He spots up Napolitano from the corner, and back-to-back triples. And in a heartbeat, it's now a 12-point advantage for Wantagh, thanks to the sophomore guard showcasing the range. And Passione's hands doing the work again, the double clutch maneuver, and he earns a trip to the line thanks to the contact underneath. As we take another look, Pazos tried to go straight up, but you see he stretched over at the last second. That's why they got him for the personal, because that is going to be the second on Pazos. Passione, senior guard, who's a heck of an athlete, also plays football and lacrosse, helped lead the football team to a Conference 3 Nassau County title with a win over Beth Page in November. Leading receiver, top safety on the team, and he's going to be playing lacrosse at Villanova with Joe Nicholson following this season. Can't capitalize on either free throw, but speaking of the devil, Nicholson collects the ball, and Wantagh's back in business here. Up by double digits thanks to the 3-point prowess from Napolitano. Speaking of threes, Passione puts it up. And Nicholson, as well as Bianchi, fighting for it. And Jackson is going to win that battle royale. So Youngins in the half-court offensive set, trying to get things going again for the Red Devils. Galino giving it up to Youngins. They got 13 on the shot clock. Off the pump. This is the first look at Lucas Rizzo. And we're going to have more contact here. As Wantagh will pick up yet another personal. That is going to be just their first of the second quarter. Youngins goes airborne here. A dangerous lob handled by Rizzo. Nicholson nearly intercepted it. Backdoor cut, mistimed as Nicholson comes up with the steal. And they're going to slow things down, but Napolitano's got a good look, and he brings it again. 3 threes for Vinny, who has been exploding off the bench. And on senior day, the sophomore is saying the underclassmen can take care of business as well as we look at the corner. And then from the opposite side, and then how about pulling up on the wing? 3 threes for Napolitano as he has 11 points. And with Plainedge trying to regroup and talk things over, we'll step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for
Wantagh High School, the site of the second matchup between the Warriors and Plainedge, as Wantagh has now jumped out to a 15-point lead thanks to the three-point shooting of Vinny Napolitano. 3 trays for him, as well as a pair of free throws, as he is now their top scorer with 11 of the team's 30. They brought him up as a freshman last year, and he assumed a huge role. He was their 6th man. Emerged as a go-to guy this year. A little bit of a slow start, but since they have begun league play, he has been a completely different player. And he really has been their best weapon, and we are seeing that once again today. Had 23 points against Valley Stream, then he hit a late 3 and got fouled in a win over Lynbrook. And off the steal here, Frankie Falco able to draw the foul, as that is going to be the 4th against Plainedge. As we see, he was bumped en route to the bucket by Komarnicki. Well, that was on the ground, so they'll inbound. Napolitano flares out into the corner, and this time he cools off, but a rebound by PJ Falco will give Napolitano an opportunity to set up Frankie Falco, and it bounces off of him, and we'll head back to Plainedge. Could argue a little too unselfish on that possession, and the extra passing contributed to a turnover. Youngins, the contested 3. In and out, as they cannot match wits with Wantagh from beyond the arc. Nicholson will leave it to Frankie Falco, the runner. Nothing but net, as they continue to have a balanced offensive attack. And the takeaway here by Passion, as he'll give it up to Falco, and the brothers will slow things down. So with the shot clock off, they can hold for the last opportunity here in the first half. And it is going to be Passion giving it up to Frankie Falco with 9 on the shot clock. They feed it inside to Nicholson. And with 3 seconds to go, Youngins is not going to get a clean pass, as it went out wide from Galino. So Wantagh, with 1.3 seconds to go, will have last licks here. Matt Simeon wants to talk things over to set up a play perhaps, and we'll take a breather on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Wantagh out of the timeout will have a possession with 1.3 seconds to go. Branching out to a 17-point lead thanks to the Vinny Napolitano show with 11 points for him. Carter Loffman has added 6. But everybody else has chipped in. Frankie Falco has 5. Lukansowski's got 3. Nicholas Hodney has a pair. PJ Falco with 3. It has been, from top to bottom, a team effort as they try to lob it in, and Pallone is there for the interception, and that is going to do it for the first 2 quarters of play, with Wantagh entering the locker room with a comfortable 32-15 advantage. Vinny Napolitano from every angle of his own high school gym. The right side, how about the left side? And then even testing out the wing. 3 triples for him, a team high 11 points, and the 3-point clinic on full display, with even a 2 being added by Frankie Falco, who was on the attack, getting to the rim with their team in front, 32-15 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
It is senior day here in Wantagh, New York, and the home team, the Warriors, capitalizing off strong play from across the board as their 8 seniors were honored before the contest. And as we are about to start the third quarter, they are in front of Plainedge 32-15 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Lance Meadow with you. Thanks so much for spending part of your Monday evening with us. The final home game of the regular season for the Warriors, and they are coming off what was a highly contested game last Friday here at home against Floral Park. Lost 63-53, and Matt Simeon said the team took the loss hard, but they just played with so much energy that they know how to bounce back. They know how to put setbacks behind them, and you're seeing that right here today against a Plainedge team that they already topped 52-27. And now they'll have possession to start the third quarter with Passion, Nicholson, Loffman, and Napolitano. And in for the first time is Tommy Dillon, the junior forward. So a different 5 to start the second half. After they went with 5 seniors, Napolitano had 3 threes in the first half. Dillon trying to clean it up. How about a third time? And it's a charm. And they get the first bucket of the second half to make it a 34-15 game. Tommy Dillon using all 6'4" of his frame to clean up inside, as he started last year as a sophomore on JV, and he is taking advantage of his minutes in this one as they go inside Plainedge to Narulis, as he is able to lay it up and in from a feed on the interior of the paint. That is his first basket of the day. Dillon kicking out to Passion, and the air ball saved by Nicholson, but to the wrong player. As Narulis will bring it back the other way, puts it up as he drew the contact below the free throw line. So that'll be the first personal against Wantagh on the floor, and it'll be Youngins to inbound. Youngins had 5 of his team's 15 at the break, and he tries to feed it to the cutting Galino, deflected out of play by Wantagh. Hazos was right behind Youngins with 4 points, as he's on the bench right now. Bianchi gives it up, and a 3-pointer by Narulos goes air, but it's saved by Galino. Youngins going up high, and Galino will save it again as he'll kick it out. And Bianchi cannot get into rhythm from downtown as Nicholson gives up the extra pass to Loffman, who can't get it to roll home. And Plainedge looking to push. Here's Bianchi, leading scorer on the season with 9 a game. And the straightaway triple falls through for Narulis, as all of a sudden he has made his presence felt in the second half, with all 5 of his points coming here in the third. And there's a Plainedge team that is not going away, as they are within 14. Largest lead has been 19. Napolitano wanted a foul, and off the miss and long rebound, here's Youngins, who will wisely look to reset. Passion gets a deflection, now comes up with the steal through 2 defenders and scoops it home. The athleticism of Devin right there, loud and clear, as he has 4 points. And he is a one-man wrecking crew when he can get out into the open court. Matt Simeon specifically referring to him as a one-man press break. But there, he was able to get out into the open court with his shiftiness. Speaking of shiftiness, Narulis too hard off the glass. So Wantagh in attack mode with Nicholson sealed off, and it went right through the legs of Dillon and out of play. As Loffman will head to the bench. Gonsowski checking in for him as we look at the 50-year head man for Wantagh, also an assistant on the football team. He's so familiar with a lot of the personnel as a result of seeing them in the fall. Nicholson to Napolitano, who leaves it for Passion, and a little bit of a ring around the rosy as Passion with back-to-back buckets. So 4 of his 6 coming here in the third. And now Plainedge has to deal with this full court press off the Wantagh make. And that is what flusters a lot of Wantagh's opponents, making it very difficult for the opposition to bring the ball up cleanly. Youngins off the mark. And Nicholson thinking about the 3, off the pump. He shuffles it inside to Dillon, and that is half-court textbook basketball. Nicholson to Dillon for an easy lay-in, and it is a 20-point advantage, the largest lead of the game for Wantagh. And Arulis has some space to operate, as Bianchi will give it back to him. And off the long rebound, Gonsowski's there. And Wantagh, you see, they don't waste any time pushing it up the court. As this will be a travel on Wantagh. The turnover will give the ball back to the Red Devils, who had 15 at the break. 5 here in the third. Their offense has had mixed results this season. For the second quarter, they added 7 to their 8 from the first. So it was a balanced attack. Youngins, the quick release, and he is able to drain the 3. The freshman point guard has been in rhythm since the opening tip of this one. That is his second 3. He's got 8 of his team's 23. And a timeout taken here by Plainedge, wants to talk things over, and that'll give us an opportunity to remind you that the Varsity Media Pass is going to be the home for the 2026 Nassau County Playoffs, Section 8 Championship. You go to varsitymediapass.com to order, as the postseason will be here before you know it. And then tomorrow we'll be back in action as we'll head to New York City in the Bronx. Cardinal Hayes, it will be their senior day as they will welcome Earl Monroe Academy to town. And there has been a last-second change. It's now going to be a 4 p.m. Eastern tip-off. You can watch that on youtube.com/varsitymedia, as I will be alongside Andrew Deloya for that call. And Cardinal Hayes, just like Wantagh, is electric in their full court press as they flip the switch, and they are suffocating in that department. Wantagh has done exactly that, as they have put up their season average already with just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And out of the timeout, it's Passione, Gonsowski, Nicholson who gets the inbound. Hodney and Frankie Falco. Nicholson trying to feed it inside to Hodney, who has to save it to Falco. Stops in the lane. And they kick it out to Gonsowski. And another offensive rebound will give Wantagh a chance to milk more clock. Nicholson from the corner. Falco going sky high for the rebound. And it is Gonsowski that comes up with it. So they are dominating this possession with second chance opportunity after second chance opportunity. And now they'll slow down the pace. Passione has it opening, kicks it in the corner to Hodney. He accelerates and lifts up for the triple. So everybody splashing it home from three-point range. And how about the senior who was inserted into the lineup, taking advantage of some space out on the perimeter, as he has 5. And we're going to have a foul on the ground as Rizzo is tripped up. It's going to go against Frankie Falco. And is going to be the first for them here in the third quarter. Bianchi takes a seat. Komarnicki in for him for Plainedge. As Youngins will feed it to Rizzo, the junior forward who has missed some time this season with a sprained wrist that he suffered in their first league game. He missed 3 to 4 weeks, so it's taken him a little bit of time to get back into the thick of things. As Rizzo gets the feed back into the paint. Not a lot of room to work with for Narulis. And there for the interception is Wantagh, as they have been putting down the defensive clamps. Nicholson spots up. And Falco and Hodney didn't realize that they were teammates, as you see. Nicholson just laying out right near his own bench. Touched it last. So we'll head back to Plainedge. And that is exactly the style of play that Joe shows when he's on the football field. A running back and return man, he and Luke Martini were absolutely magnificent this past football season. So fun to watch as Pazos is going to fall short on that release. Bianchi will check back in. Pazos will get a breather. We've seen Bianchi come to life here in the third quarter. As Hodney puts up another tray. And there was contact from behind as Nicholson was a little too over-aggressive. And he is going to be called for his second personal. So with just over a minute to go, Wantagh up comfortably by 20, but this is their MO. Still applying a full court press. As Plainedge is able to break it down smoothly. Narulis off the dribble. We'll give it up to Youngins as they have 20 on the shot clock. Around the perimeter it goes, 9 on the shot clock. Narulis, the long rebound, and Hodney laying out, and we'll give it up to Gonsowski. And shot clock and game clock is just about even here at the tail end of the third quarter. It's about a 1/10 of a second differential. Nicholson stops in the lane. And Passion will wisely reset here. As they're going to look to bring this down to the final seconds. And they're not going to have a chance anymore. An offensive foul. That's the 4th on the team. And we're going to have a few quick substitutions here for Plainedge as Galino returns. Rocco Artizzoni in for the first time. Komarnicki will head to the bench. As the pathway opens up for Youngins, and he is able to bank it in at the buzzer for the exclamation point to the third quarter. Youngins in double figures with 10 points, and you see him showcasing his range, and then returning it was Hodney as they are exchanging three-pointers here in the third quarter. And that is in the books with Wantagh 43-25 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
18-point lead for Wantagh as we enter the fourth quarter, as they are looking to post their third win in the last 4 contests and improve to 7-4 in league play here on Senior Day. As a reminder, you can book a Varsity Media Sportscast. You can contact Ben at varsitymedia.net, or you give him a ring at 516-403-2050. Plainedge, as I was mentioning, still looking for its first victory in league play. They started the season off on an 8-game skid. Their lone win this season came against the High School for Law Enforcement and Public Safety. That was back on December 29th. And then since then, they have now lost 8 in a row again. Is a young team still trying to build their identity, but Youngins has been a spark plug, especially on the offensive end. He's got a team-high 10 points, and he is one of 2 freshmen on varsity. Jared Versky's been coaching for a while. He's never had a pair of freshmen on the varsity team, but it speaks volumes of their maturity, as that three-pointer will not bounce the way of Artizzoni, senior guard, who is one of their game captains. Stacklick pulls up for an easier look. And Bianchi is there for the rebound. Here's Galino playing catch with his teammates, as they have not had many openings around the perimeter. You can see Frankie Falco with Youngins every step of the way as we're a minute into the fourth. Galino tries to kick it out to Narulis, and it was last touched by Wantagh. And the communication and the intensity has been in sync all around that three-point line. Youngins has hit a pair of triples, but they have not been easy to set up, as Bianchi overshoots the rim, and it's saved inbounds, but Narulis can't hold on to it, and off to the races is Stacklick. A bounce pass across the lane. They can't finish on the bunny, but yet another second chance opportunity. Great hustle by the Warriors. The extra pass as they get it to Gonsowski. Everybody's touched the ball on this possession. 12 on the shot clock, and the jump stop by Frankie Falco falls short. And Plainedge, with their point guard orchestrating traffic, will retain possession here, as it was deflected out of play by PJ Falco. So the Falco brothers have been everywhere on this court, as Artizzoni comes out for Plainedge, and they go a little bit bigger with Pallone manning the middle. And with a comfortable lead, given the size discussion coming into this game, Lockman has not played a lot of minutes today, mainly because he got shaken up early in the game. So Matt Simeone saying to himself, it's not worth the risk to put him in danger of re-aggravating that. And they have not missed a beat. Youngins the step back three. Stacklick will bring it back the other way. Senior guard, Hodney, can't make contact with the rim. And there was contact underneath against Wantagh. Just the first personal against the Warriors. Youngins will get some rest, and Pazos checks in for him. So the last time these teams played, Plainedge only scored 27. They're at 25 now with 5+ minutes to go, and they're going to surpass that tally thanks to their big man, Matteo Pallone, showcasing his range from straight away. He's known for his physicality underneath. Well, you could give him the triple, as he could be an inside-outside player. And you see there, Hodney gave him space, and he said, all right, thank you very much. I'll dial it up from long range, and he is able to capitalize. So we will step aside here with a timeout on the floor. Wantagh leading 43-28 over Plainedge on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a SPORTSCAST with Varsity Media. What sets our SPORTSCAST apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again, off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our
Fourth quarter resumes here on the Varsity Media Sports Network in Wantagh, New York, as they try to break down the press here. Passion's pass, though, intended for Loffman, a little too high. And Plainedge will get it back here, looking for magic number 30. Pallone hit a three on the last possession. As Pazos gives it up to Rizzo. Bianchi and Galino round out their five. 15 on the shot clock for Pazos, and he is able to drop it through from beyond the arc. And it is a 12-point game with just under 5 minutes to go. So the man that Jared Bursky says gives them an added dimension has lived up to his potential as Loffman is fouled in the lane, and he is going to earn a trip to the stripe. As we'll take another look here, Loffman was squeezing through a pair of defenders, and you see Pallone clearly got a piece of the ball and his arm. So Loffman, who, as I mentioned, has not played nearly as many minutes as he normally does because he was shaken up and limped off gingerly early in this game. That was his 7th point of the evening, averages double-double with 11 points and 11 rebounds per game. And he makes 1 of 2. And then Frankie Falco and Narulis getting into it underneath, but they're going to get Falco with the personal. So despite the missed free throw, it still gives Wantagh an opportunity to set up the full court press. As they enter the front court here with Narulis, the quick trigger, and up and in for their 2nd leading scorer on the season. So he now has hit a pair of trays here in the second half, and they are within 10. Nicholson drops it off to Loffman, and we're going to get another foul against Pallone. So Loffman will head back to the line where he was 1 of 2. And the 3 ball for Plainedge has been some lifeline in this game. They trailed by as many as 20 in this contest, and they have cut it in half. And Loffman now is 1 for 3 at the line, and you see Pallone went up initially straight up, but then brought the hand down, and it made it easy for the official to call the foul. And that is 2 misses for Loffman, and Nicholson can't secure it. Pazos comes up with it. So Plainedge has an opportunity to pull within single digits here. With under 4 minutes to go in the 4th, Youngins is in double digits with 10. Narulis takes over. We've seen him hit two trifectas, excuse me. And Jared Bursky wants to talk things over to get his team to settle down here in the half-court set, trailing by 10. The last time they met, it was a lopsided affair, 52-27 in favor of Wantagh, as we see Pazos with Loffman laid out on the perimeter, hits the 3, and then Narulis with Frankie Falco a bit late. Plainedge has been in sync from beyond the arc, and while Matt Simeon talks things over with his team, we will step aside on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So the storyline here in the second half has been Plainedge's three-point shooting, as again we see Pazos drill it from the corner as he has come through with 1 of his team's 6. Wantagh's hit 5 threes, but the 3 ball has brought Plainedge back to life. And they are in possession here out of the timeout, trailing by 10. Still seeking their first league win of the season, with an 0-10 mark and 1-16 overall. Pazos off the inbounds, in and out. It nearly dropped through the unfriendly rim here at Wantagh High School. And with under 3.5 to go, Red Devils in need of a defensive stop. Here's Napolitano. He was a spark plug in the first half, too hard off the rim. Pazos trying to lob it up ahead to Bianchi. And Passion with those quick hands says, not on my watch. So Wantagh now looking to milk some clock here. And Napolitano has nowhere to go. Everybody involved on the perimeter. Passion off the right side of the rim. And Youngins, who's done a nice job setting things up for himself and his teammates, will begin the work around the perimeter as he gets it back here with the left hand too hard. And Nicholson is there for another rebound. As Nicholson gets bumped by Narulis. Did not look like he was in the act of shooting on that. It looked like he was going to dump it off, but we'll see what the officials rule, and they're going to say it's an inbound underneath. As that was the third team foul against Plainedge. Pazos will sit, and Rizzo will come in for him. And that three-pointer, you can count that for Sean Stacklick. The senior on senior day, maybe adding an early exclamation point as he gets on the board for the first time today. Narulis unable to match that tray. And with a 13-point lead and 2 minutes to go, Plainedge forced to foul as Narulis grabs the Palatano from behind. We're going to see a sub here for Plainedge. Galino will replace Narulis. And now we're going to see Ryan Capone come in for the first time, and Youngins will head to the bench. Capone, a senior guard who's known for his quickness and his athleticism, and a real good on-ball defender. As Loffman gives it up to Passion. The football teammates working together on the basketball court. Stacklick could not make it back-to-back trays. He just returned to the court Friday against Floral Park after missing time dating back to the summer when he suffered a wrist injury playing lacrosse. So that's going to be some weapon that they'll have come the postseason. Galino, the floater. And Stacklick, who we were just talking about, now grabs a rebound. It was deflected out of play by Galino. And one of the things that Matt Simeone talked about as I was chatting with him this week is that even though Stacklick has missed time, he's been practicing. They've been working him along very slowly. They don't want to overdo it, and he has shown his explosiveness, which is certainly a positive sign for them as they enter the middle of February. We're going to have a foul on the floor here. But that was team foul number 5, so Nicholson will go to the line. One of several football players on this roster. A big reason why they were able to defeat Beth Page in the county championship, but cannot hit the free throws, and then a steal in the backcourt, which is exactly what Wantagh is known for to pad the advantage. Pallone goes strong to the rim, and we have seen Pallone provide an inside-outside presence. Passion dumps it down low to Loffman. Nicholson there to clean it up, and you can count that bucket plus the harm as he'll have a chance to complete the three-point play. So Nicholson late in this game doing the dirty work and muscling his way through traffic for the finish. Nicholson missed both of his free throws the last trip, and he is able to take full advantage there. 1 for 3 today. Pallone off the pump, the step back tray. And Passion is there for the rebound. So Passion is going to just dribble it out. He was one of 8 seniors honored to start this game, and he puts the finishing touches on a 53-36 victory for the Wantagh Warriors, who improved to 7-4 in league play and win for the 3rd time in the last 4 as they sweep the season series with Plainedge after jumping out to a 10-0 lead in the early stages of this game. We'll step aside and take a breather with a final here in Wantagh. We'll have post-game reaction next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is broadcast free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey, Carter, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it here. We're going to be coming back from break shortly. And we are back here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, now joined by one of the 8 seniors on Wantagh's roster, who is joined by the rest of his teammates. Carter Loffman, also the quarterback on the football team, as his team was victorious 53-36. Carter, what was it to take the court here with your 7 fellow seniors and walk away with a W in the final home regular season game?
Yeah, it's special. I've been friends with them my whole life. It's just important to get a win here, last game here, make the most of it. Best friends, so it's so special.
Last time you played this team, it was a 52-27 victory. Really shut them down in the first half. They pulled within 10 at one point late. How would you say your team responded to that and was able to close the door and finish this game?
Yeah, no quit. The seniors, no one after our last game here, so just giving it all every time we're on the floor. Saw that they were coming back a little bit. We weren't worried. Just got back together as a team and shut the door really quick.
I know you were a bit shaken up early in the game. You managed to play through it. How are you feeling here now that you go down the stretch in the postseason?
Yeah, I'm all good. It was just a little dead leg in the beginning, but feel good. Body's great.
Before I let you go, even though it was senior day, it seems every game Vinny Napolitano finds a way to light up the scoreboard, and he got red hot from beyond the arc. How much of a lift does he provide and help balance out the upperclassmen on this team?
Yeah, he's the best shooter on the team. He's very humble, but we let him know it's pretty special to us.
Well, Carter, congratulations to you and your teammates, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
You got it. Absolutely. Wantagh victorious thanks to that man, Carter Loffman, who scored 7 points to lead his team to a 53-36 victory. As that is going to wrap things up for us here in Wantagh, New York. We want to thank our entire crew. Executive producer Ben Turchin, technical director Jacob Semken, Becca Kazaks for her assistance as well. Our camera operators, Kevin Catalano. New York, the final score, the Warriors top Plainedge to sweep the season series 53-36 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.